Your life will not move forward 1 inch until you face exactly where you are right now. You can't fix a lie and you can't improve something you won't admit is broken. It might feel safer to pretend everything's fine, but that is exactly what's keeping you stuck. If you refuse to acknowledge the truth that you're lost or failing or in over your head, you will stay lost. You'll keep spinning in circles, making the same mistakes and wondering why success isn't happening. Do you want to look back in 5 years and realize you wasted all that time because you were too proud, too scared, or too stubborn to be honest about where you stand? Of course not. So listen, the first step to any transformation is brutal honesty. Even NASA knew it. Apollo 13 didn't radio Houston saying, "Hey, we're fine." No, they said, "Houston, we have a problem." Only by admitting the problem could they scramble to find a solution and bring the crew home. Hiding the issue would have been fatal. In life, it's the same for you. You can't launch to the next level until you say, "This is where I am. This is what's wrong." Let me tell you a quick story. When I was 19, I started my first business and it was failing hard. I was making no money. I was eating beans for lunch, barely surviving, but I was too embarrassed to tell anyone. I lied to my friends that business was great because I didn't want them to know I was struggling. Looking back, it was stupid. That was my 19-year-old brain. But at the time, my ego couldn't handle admitting that I sucked. The pressure kept building until one day I actually quit on my business partner. I told him, "I'm done," and I walked away. And that night, I hit my rock bottom. I sat there thinking about how much I would regret it for the rest of my life if I gave up completely. And in that moment, I finally faced the truth. I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. I need to change. So the next day, I went to my partner's apartment and we got back to work, but differently this time. I swallowed my pride and started studying how Bill Gates built Microsoft, trying to model someone who did know what they were doing. I admitted my way wasn't working and opened myself up to learn. And guess what? That's when we finally started to get results. That painful honesty saved my business. It was one of the worst times of my life because I was working hard with nothing to show and I felt like a loser. But the very night I admitted where I was and what I lacked, I found a way forward. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, Evan, but won't focusing on the negative just make me feel worse? What about fake it until you make it and staying positive? And I hear you, and it's a fair concern. You don't want to wallow in what's wrong, but understand admitting where you are isn't negativity. It's actually empowering. You can still believe in yourself and acknowledge that something's not ideal right now. This isn't about beating yourself up and throwing some kind of pity party. It's about freedom, liberation. When you face the facts, you free yourself to change them. Hiding from the truth is not positive thinking. It's being a coward in disguise. You are stronger than that. Think of a doctor with a patient. They have to diagnose the disease before they can treat it, right? Telling the patient, "all good," when cancer is spreading isn't kindness, it's cruelty. You need to be your own doctor now. Diagnose your reality so that you can heal it. Admitting a weakness doesn't make you weaker. It actually shows your strength. It takes guts to say, "Here's where I'm at," and only the strong and smart are brave enough to do it. So, are you brave enough? Good. So let's do this. Let's talk about why you can't go forward until you admit where you are and how you can actually start doing it now. If you've been here before, drop a hashtag Believe in the comments below so I can feature you here in a future video. And if you're new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe. All right, take a deep breath because we're about to get practical and real. How do we actually admit where you are and why is this so powerful in moving you forward? First, let's stress why this matters so much. Self-awareness, being brutally honest about your current situation, is the foundation of all growth. In fact, a Cornell University study of 72 executives found that high self-awareness was the strongest predictor of success overall. Not IQ, not fancy degrees, just the courage and honesty to realistically assess themselves. Think about that. The people who rose to the top were the ones willing to say, "Here's what I'm good at. Here's what I'm bad at. Here's where we really stand right now." Being self-aware, admitting where you are, is literally a superpower in business and in life. When you have that clarity, you know what to focus on, what to improve, what to let go of. When you don't, you chase the wrong things or trick yourself into standing still. So, reason number one, clarity is power. If you don't know exactly where you are on the map, you can't chart a course to where you want to go. Imagine trying to get directions on a GPS, but refusing to input your current location, right? No thanks. I don't want to admit that I'm in Nowheresville right now. Guess what? The GPS can't give you a route. You're driving blind. But that's what so many people do in life. They set goals. I want to get to that destination, but they never pinpoint their starting point. You need that starting point. Maybe your goal is to be a successful entrepreneur. Okay, where are you right now? Maybe you have zero experience, zero sales skills, $50 in your bank account. Admit it. That's your starting point, because from there, you can make a plan to get skills, to raise money, whatever it is. If you lie and say, I'm fine, everything's fine, I've got it all figured out, you're building a castle on quicksand, right? Clarity gives you solid ground to build on. Reason number 2. Admitting where you are saves you time, years of it. When you face a truth early, you can course correct quickly. When you ignore it, you waste so much time. I almost wasted my entire company at 19 by avoiding the truth. I meet people all the time who spend years in denial. The entrepreneur whose business is bleeding money but won't admit their model isn't working, and they keep sinking more cash into a losing game. The person in a toxic relationship who says, it's fine, while they're dying inside, losing precious happiness. The aspiring artist who won't admit that they need more practice so they never improve and wonder why they're not getting a break. Please don't be that person. You have a dream to chase, and you don't have years to throw away living a lie. The sooner you say, here's the real problem, the sooner you can fix it and move forward. Now, I get it. Admitting the truth can hurt. It can feel like defeat or embarrassment. Your ego, it hates it. That voice in your head goes, if I admit I'm not good at this, won't people think less of me? Won't I think less of me? But listen, every winner you admire has done this. Every successful person at some point looked in the mirror and said, all right, here's where I really am. This is not weakness. It's what legends do. You can't become great if you're deluding yourself with comforting lies. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest of all time, didn't pretend he was perfect. When he lost, he looked at why. He admitted his defense needed work or his conditioning wasn't enough, and then he trained harder. That's why he kept getting better. The same goes for you. Be grateful to find a weakness or a flaw, because now you can improve it. Let me share another personal example from my journey. Years after that first business, I started YouTube. And I struggled again. For years, I put out video after video with almost nobody watching. In my first year on YouTube, I had 25 subscribers. Can you imagine? A year of busting my butt and making content, and I could barely fill a classroom with my audience. 5 years in, I had just a few thousand subscribers. And that's painfully slow growth. I felt like, man, is it ever gonna work? But here's what I did. I admitted I wasn't good enough yet. I didn't say the algorithm's against me or make excuses. I said my videos aren't great yet. I need to get better. I was embarrassed by my own content. I mean it. I couldn't even watch my early videos, my first 350 videos, without cringing. It took me 350 videos before I could watch one back without being embarrassed, and 700 videos before I made something that I actually loved. That's how long it took me to find my groove. And I was honest with myself through it. I knew I wasn't a natural on camera. I knew my content needed work. I knew I was an introvert, and that honesty kept me humble enough to keep learning and hungry enough to keep going. Most people would have quit. Most people would have said after 50 bad videos, well, I guess I'm just not cut out for this. Or worse, some people would delude themselves and say, my content is amazing. The world just doesn't get it. And then stay stuck at 50 views a video forever. I didn't do that. I acknowledged the suck. I embraced the suck, as they say, and I kept moving forward. And because of that, I went from 25 subscribers in year one to now over 4 million subscribers. Why? Not because I'm special or lucky, but because I faced reality and kept working on it. And I want that for you too. Whatever your goal is, music, business, fitness, anything, be honest about your level right now. It's okay if you're bad at the start. Admit it and then get to work. That's how you become one of the best. Reason number 3, admitting where you are opens you up to help and growth. This one is huge. As long as you're in denial, you're effectively closing the door on any help that could come in. When you say, I got it, nothing to see here, you're shutting out mentors, advice, support, all the stuff that could accelerate you. The moment you say, I need help, or I don't know what I'm doing here, boom, that door opens. And I had to learn this the hard way too. I've always been the kind of guy who hates asking for help. Can you relate? Mr. Lone Wolf over here. But a few years into my journey, 2 people changed that. First, I married my wife, Nina. And now Nina is, for me, the most supportive person in the world. She wanted to be there for everything. And at first I was like, nah, you don't need to come to my events. You'll be bored. I literally said that to her, but she came just to support me anyway. And it blew my mind. I realized I needed that support. I just didn't know it until I felt it. Having someone in your corner, even just in the audience smiling, gave me a boost I never knew I was missing. And around that same time, I met my agent, Steve. Now, Steve is also a tough mentor. He worked with people like Mel Robbins and Grant Cardone and big personalities. He doesn't sugarcoat his advice. He gave me hard feedback, pushed me to make better content, to think bigger, to stop playing small. It was like a boot camp for my ambition. And his advice really stung sometimes, if I'm being honest. It's not fun being told your videos need to be way better, step it up. But I needed to hear it. And because I was finally willing to accept help and feedback, my growth started to explode. And that year was a turning point. The channel really started to take off. My impact started to grow. Everything. If I had stayed prideful and never admitted I could use some guidance, I would probably still be crawling along slowly, frustrated that I wasn't winning. And instead, by opening myself up, by admitting I don't have all the answers, I could actually use some help here, I gained a loving supporter, my wife, and a kick-butt mentor with Steve, who together helped supercharge my success. So who or what are you shutting out by not admitting that you need help? Is it a coach you haven't approached, a friend that you haven't confided in, an online course or group that you've been too proud to take? Drop the ego, get the help. There is zero shame in learning or receiving support. That's how every great person you admire got to where they are. Someone showed them the way once they admitted they needed it. Also, if you want to take real action after this video, I made a free worksheet just for you. It covers the top lessons from today, gives you space to write your biggest takeaways, and helps you build a simple action plan. It's 100% free. Just click the link in the description below to go grab it. I'll see you there. Now, let's bring this home with a powerful mindset shift. There's a concept I love from Jim Collins, who wrote Good to Great, called the Stockdale Paradox. It says you must retain unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end, and at the same time confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. Both, not one or the other. What does that mean for you? It means you must absolutely believe that you will achieve your goal, you will get out of the hole, you will win, but you refuse to pretend the hole isn't there. You confront the brutal facts of, I'm in a hole and it's 10 feet deep and the walls are really slippery. You don't sugarcoat it. And because you do that, you can devise a plan to climb out. Meanwhile, you keep the faith that ultimately you will succeed. This is exactly what I'm asking you to do. Believe in your ultimate ability, but be dead honest about where you are right now. The heroes of the world, the ones who survive and thrive, they do all of this. The optimists who stick their head in the sand and just hope without facing reality, they fail. They die of a broken heart, as Admiral Stockdale says about the naive POWs who kept saying, we'll be out by Christmas, and refused to accept the harsh truth. Don't let that be you in your journey. Be courageous enough to say, here's the truth of my situation, and optimistic enough to say, I can and will change it. All right, so now it's a gut check time for you. I want you to think about your life and identify one area, just one to start, where you know you haven't been fully honest with yourself. You already know what it is. It's that thing that popped in your head as I've been talking. Maybe it's your career, maybe it's your health, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a project that you just keep putting off. What are you telling yourself there? And what's the actual truth? Are you telling yourself you're giving it your all when deep down you know you're playing at 50%? Are you telling yourself everything is fine just to avoid conflict when deep down you know it's not fine? Be real, call it out, write it down if you need to. The truth I need to admit is blank. This is your moment, because once you shine a light on that thing, it loses power over you. You can finally deal with it. If you've been drifting in denial, this right here is the moment you grab the wheel of your life again. No more autopilot, no more hiding. It might feel like a punch to the gut, but it's also a surge of relief and empowerment. Remember, truth is the starting line. It's not the finish line, it's the start. When you admit where you are, you give yourself permission to begin the journey to where you want to be. You stop being stuck in the fake world of shoulda, coulda, woulda, and you step into reality. And only reality can be changed. I promise you. When you do this, you will feel a weight lift off your shoulders. You'll finally see a path forward. It might be a long path. Mine sure was, but at least you'll see it and you'll be moving. And movement, progress, is happiness. So have the courage to be brutally honest with yourself today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Greatness begins not with a single step, but with a single truth acknowledged. Tell yourself the truth so that you can change your reality. You owe it to yourself and your dreams. Don't let the fear rob you of your destiny. Face where you are so you can get to where you're meant to be. And congratulations, you're one video closer to who you're meant to be. Believe. To learn why momentum beats motivation every time, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. Motivation is overrated. Momentum beats motivation every single time. We are told to find your motivation before taking action, but if you keep waiting for some lightning bolt of inspiration to strike, you'll waste days, months, even years